So, it has been requested that I do a video on the new books that I got for my birthday, which was just over a week ago. So yeah, I'll show them. It's not these ones, as you would know from my book tour. This is just the background. Okay, so to begin with, we have The Anglo-Saxons, A History of the Beginnings of England by Mark Morris. So this was a gift from a friend, and he is the one who requested that this video be made. So, yep. And I'm about halfway through this book. I won't give like a review of all these books. I'll probably review them all separately at some point. But yep, here it is. And I've been enjoying it so far. I'm about halfway through Alfred the Great, and I've learned quite a lot of stuff which I didn't know about the Anglo-Saxons. So I definitely recommend this book. Thank you for that. Moving on, I have some books I got from my parents. So here we have Baltasar Gracian. I'm not sure how to pronounce that in, well, I would imagine it's Baltasar Gracian in modern Spanish, but this was written in late 17th century, I believe, so that's probably not the pronunciation they would have used then. So The Pocket Oracle and the Art of Prudence. I believe, yes, I got this one because it was featured a lot in 48 Laws of Power. Robert Greene uses him a lot, so I thought I'd get the original book. He's written a lot of other books other than this, I believe, but this is the famous one. It's also known as The Art of Worldly Wisdom, I believe. And it's 300 aphorisms on worldly wisdom. And it's it is good. I would recommend it. And some of them are tricky intentionally, so he sort of jumps from points to points within an aphorism, and you sort of have to guess the links between, and then get the whole thing as a whole. And the first sentence is sort of the main piece, and then the second, the rest can sort of be seen as a commentary on it. But again, it sort of should be taken as a whole as well. He's got a very interesting style, so I definitely recommend you read this, and his advice is good. Next we have Ecce Homo, or as some people call it, Ecce Homo. I don't know what the standard pronunciation of this is. I know that in classical Latin it would be Ecce, not Ecce, but it's not a Latin book, so although it is Latin from the Bible, so maybe you should do the classical pronunciation, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, this is Nietzsche's eccentric autobiography, and it is a very interesting read. He sort of he tells you how you should understand him and his work in a way, and how you should read him, which is useful. And also, as you probably know the quote, I am not a man, I am dynamite. This is where it is from, so I recommend you read this. Then we have La Rochefoucauld. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, because I haven't spoken very much French for a long time. But yep, La Rochefoucauld, Collected Maxims and Other Reflections. I think it's basically all his stuff. And it's got the French in as well, which is very nice. You can, even if you don't speak French, I think it's always good, even if you don't speak the language and you're reading it in translation, it's always good to look at the original just to get a feel for the way it was written. Although I know a little bit of French, so I do like to read the French and try and understand it. And I will fully know French at some point, so I will be able to read this in the original French at some point. But yeah, the insights are good, and I would recommend it. And also, this is I've got because I think I saw it on I saw people reference it a lot. I think Nietzsche talks about it a bit, and also again, it's in Robert Greene used him, I think. So yeah, recommend it. Next we have Machiavelli, Discourses on Livy. So I read The Prince by Machiavelli, which is his most famous work, and this is a lesser known one, although apparently it's meant to be better, I've heard some people say. And I have started reading it, and it is very good, I must say. It's like The Prince. So if you like The Prince, then this is like an extended version of The Prince. So I definitely recommend you get this if you like The Prince. And although I believe where The Prince focused more on individuals, this focuses more on the state. But yeah, they're related. And yeah, so if you like The Prince, get this, it's good. Next we have some books from my grandparents. So Rome, A History in 7 Sackings. So I've started to read this. It seems good so far, so thank you for this. because obviously I haven't been able to properly read all these, start getting into all these books yet. I think I've just about started all of them by a little bit, but some as you can see by my commentary, I've read a bit more of some than others, so I can have more to say. Next we have Alexander the Great versus Julius Caesar. So they got this because they just know I like this history and stuff. And this, I've started reading it, and it seems good so far, and I'm excited to see the argument. Where do you stand on this argument? Personally, I think Alexander the Great was greater. Julius Caesar potentially a greater commander, as the book title says, and also I have a personal preference for Julius Caesar over Alexander the Great. Although overall, Alexander the Great is still greater. That's my opinion. What's yours? Right, moving on. Battles and Battlefields of Ancient Greece. So this is a book, it's heavy, because it's all on sort of laminated paper, I suppose you'd call it. So you know when you get those books with photos in, and it has like a page with the coloured photos, but only this book's made out of all of that material. So it's very high quality paper, and it's got lots of, because of that, or the reason for that is because it's got lots of photos in, which is very good. It's got archaeological photos to accompany all of it, and it's basically just talks about all the battles, all the major battles in ancient Greece, and the locations of all the battlefields and stuff to see at the battlefields, along with a description of the battle itself, and with extensive lists of further reading so you can study about the battle. So this is a very useful book. Thank you very much for it, and I recommend you get it. And next up we have a ton of ancient Greek books. Well, not in, some of them are in ancient Greek, some are about ancient Greek. This is collectively from my grandparents and my uncle, so thank you very much for these. To start, we've got here Homeric vocabularies, or hui katalogoi ton epon ton Homereion. Not great pronunciation because I haven't perfected my pronunciation yet, and I was just quickly trying to read it, but yeah. So this is just a list of all the, well, most of the vocabulary, I believe, but it's arranged in order of occurrence, so that you can learn the most occurring verbs and nouns. It's also organised in parts as well, so nouns, verbs, adjectives, and you can learn the most common ones first and then move on. So it's a very useful little book for learning all the vocabulary. So thank you for this. And then we have book 1 from the Cambridge Press, and this is so it contains the book 1, but it's also got extensive scholarly commentary, I believe, at the end. So this is going to be useful. So thank you for this. And then we have a lexicon of the Homeric dialect. So this is just an ancient Greek dictionary, but for Homer's Greek. This will be useful. Then we have Homeric Greek, a book for beginners. So this is a textbook on Homeric Greek, but also teach you a little bit of Attic Greek at the end, although obviously they're similar, they're very similar. It's just slight grammatical and there's slight differences between them. Actually, I don't know yet. I know there's a slight difference between Koine Greek and Attic Greek, but I don't know about the differences between Homeric and Attic. There's probably more of a difference between them than there is between Attic and Koine, but still, they're similar. So when you've learnt this, you basically know ancient Greek. But just you have to then learn the differences. I suppose it's probably like learning Shakespearean English and then trying to understand normal English. You just have, it would be doable. So yeah, it's a textbook and it's good so far. I've been using it, and so that's something I'm doing. I'm learning ancient Greek alongside Latin as well. So yeah. And finally, last but certainly not least, we have the masterpiece itself, the Iliad in ancient Greek, from Oxford Classical Texts. And this is from my uncle, so thank you very much for this. And it also, the interesting about this one is that it's got the comments from grammarians and scholiasts, which will tell you extra things about the text, maybe even reveal some stuff about other stuff which they knew about, but which we didn't know until we saw their writing on it and their insights. So that'll be awesome. So I'm looking forward to reading this once I've learned ancient Greek. Although I'll start to read it before I fully learn ancient Greek. But yeah, it will only be when I fully learn ancient Greek that I can properly enjoy it and just read it front to back. But I've read the Iliad in translation, but I'm going to sort of use this as well to learn ancient Greek alongside, and then yeah. So this is awesome. Thank you. All right. Okay, then that's it. That's a wrap. So, oh wow, 10 minutes. That's longer than it felt. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be doing more videos soon. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of your day if you're watching this.